Ismet Moloko still sees tanks in his sleep. His family used to live here, in what was once a large private house. The village of Pločica was in the heart of the area controlled by the Kosovo Liberation Army. Ismet, as well as many other villagers, witnessed several offensives carried out by the Yugoslav police.
There were 11 people living here. My brother ran a shop. It was located in this part of the house. Tanks stormed the building. You can still see bullet wounds. Most of my relatives were hiding in a nearby forest, but the policemen captured my brother.
Ismet remembers the events clearly.
At this very place, on September the 26th, 1998, 13 civilians from Pločica were massacred by Serbian police. They tortured them for more than 10 hours using knives, axes and sticks. Then the Serbs slaughtered them. They killed my brother, cutting off his arm with an axe.
The Yugoslav forces almost destroyed the Kosovo Liberation Army in 1998, but the war wasn't over. Western powers accused the then Yugoslav president Slobodan Milosevic of the genocide of ethnic Albanians, while the media was full of reports about the atrocities conducted by the Yugoslav forces. On January the 15th, 1999, the Yugoslav Special Forces carried out an offensive in the village of Racek, which is 100 kilometers away from the capital Pristina, allegedly killing 44 civilians. The truth behind the massacre was disputed. Foreign doctors who took part in the identification of bodies denied people had been killed in the same place. They also doubted as to whether the dead were civilians. The events in Racek are believed to have pushed forward the NATO attack on Yugoslavia. Figures reported by media were scary. Hundreds of civilians killed daily. Most of those figures were exaggerated, but the deal was done. People were prepared for a new war. The English-language media reported heavily on the atrocities carried out by the Yugoslav forces, while only few crimes committed by the Kosovo Liberation Army were made public. The media portrayed Milosevic as a perpetrator of the troubles. In March 1999, NATO launched an offensive against Yugoslavia. It was dubbed by the media as the Merciful Angel. For 78 days, Yugoslavia was on fire, as hundreds of NATO bombs and rockets were dropped on the country's military and industrial sites. Hundreds of civilians who were not directly involved with the Kosovo War died outside the conflict zone. Civilians were killed in the 1999 NATO bombings of Yugoslavia. The Yugoslav police were forced to leave Kosovo. Without police protection, most Serbs also fled. For the ethnic Albanians, it was the then US President Bill Clinton who triumphed in the conflict between the Serbs and the Albanians. The capital Pristina was adorned with symbols of the United States. Following the end of the NATO operation, the war-torn region was under UN administration. The head of the UN mission in Kosovo said it had contributed much towards stability in the Balkans. However, no one was under any illusions. What is the future for Serbs here in Kosovo?
Well, Kosovo is not a paradise, but we are in a reasonable state.
A wall just outside the UN mission in Kosovo headquarters is like a large agitation board. Children have painted it with slogans like UN is the best, we love the United States. But there are people here who don't want to say thank you, United Nations. A typical apartment block in central Pristina has become a prison for one man. Police officers are on duty here 24/7, preventing Albin Kurti, a politician who is opposed to the UN presence in Kosovo, from leaving his apartment. The authorities put him under house arrest.
I was arrested, and for 5 months they kept me in prison. They accused me of organizing a crowd that commits criminal offense of damaging private and public property and causing, as they say, general danger. Then of obstructing official persons in performing their official duties.
In February 2007, activists from the movement organized a rally. Thousands took to the streets of Pristina demanding the withdrawal of all international forces from Kosovo. It ended in violence. The international forces responded. 2 activists were killed, dozens more injured. Kurti was arrested.
And third is call for resistance. Despite the fact that I don't recognize this court, I said to prosecutor that I thank you for accusing me for call to resistance, because really resistance is my second favorite word. My first favorite word is self-determination.
Kurti now writes articles on politics. He says the self-determination movement was the first opposition group to appear in Kosovo when it was under UN administration. And the violence that February proved that the region was far from being peaceful. Vetan Al-Shani always has plenty of things to do. He's a spokesperson for the Kosovo Police Service. Now it has to deal with all of the troubles in the region alone.
We do have trafficking in human beings, the most that come from abroad through the border lines. And most of these females, the victims of trafficking, are coming through the airport, Pristina, so by plane. And we do have narcotics, we do have drugs, narcotics, and guns, weapons.